What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of The Impact Atlanta. This is Season 2, Episode 6, and the episode is titled No Excuses. Let's get right into the review. So we start this episode off with Tucson and Tay meeting up, and basically, Tucson is catching Tay up on what went down at the pajama party. According to Tucson, it was a debacle because you already know he felt some type of way about Jerrika putting her finger on his nose because it was absolutely uncalled for. So now he wants to plan something so that way everybody can get together, and then he's going to whip out a lie detector test because his goal is to prove that Jerrika is a liar out here. Moving on to Tay, he plans on having a hair class, and within that class, he wants to have it in New York. Now, of course, what's his name? Tucson. He's like, why do you want to have it in New York? But according to Tay, he has a huge fan base there, and that's where he would rather have it. This boy is trying to get to New York by any means necessary. So we actually see that Tucson is not only coming out with his own hookah line, which is going to come out around his birthday time, but he gets a call from his manager, and she lets him know that this boy is booked, okay? Not to do hair, not to hang out, but to actually perform, his music in DC. And I think that's pretty dope. Now, the cutest moment for me this episode was when Tucson, he actually called his parents to tell them, that he has a show and he invited them. And both of his parents were like, yeah, we want to come to the show. And you can tell that they are very supportive of Tucson and whatever he got going on. And I love that for him. I really do. Like, there are so many people who don't have supportive parents, or, once their kids get grown, they just kind of like wean themselves off of their kids, which is very strange to me. But I love that he has a good support system. All right, so in the next scene, we move on to Jerrika, aka Carly, and she is meeting with her friend D. Rushing. And of course, they have to talk about what happened at the pajama party. Now, according to her, she just took old boy off of her social media. She just took Tucson off of there. And she felt like, she was just joking when she said that they had like a love-hate relationship, but it escalated. I'm like, girl, the fact that you were trying to minimize what you did to this man is ridiculous. You're like, oh, well, I didn't mush him in the face. I just touched his nose. Regardless, you shouldn't have touched him, period. Because it was unnecessary, it was uncalled for, and honestly, it's giving that you're unhinged, and that's a problem, girl. But nonetheless, it looks like she's going to try to move on from the situation because nobody is going to play with her name or her reputation like this. And I'm just like, yes, please. Let's go ahead and move on. You don't have to be friends with Tucson. But at the end of the day, girl, who is your friend on this show? Because no offense, even though Ari may say, hey girl, hey, she still ain't your friend. But nonetheless, this girl is now saying that she's focusing on her own career and what she got going on. And I'm like, finally, this is what you should have been showing us from the beginning. How you're trying to rebuild your life since everybody that you knew and the whole team that you was rocking with, everybody went to jail. Okay? That was the story that you should have sold us instead of worrying about what Tucson and Tay and Ari and everybody else had going on, Jerrika. But nonetheless, she says that now she's going to be an independent artist. She still has to finalize the paperwork to officially get off the label. And now her focus is putting together, I believe, like a 6 or 7 song EP. And I feel like this will actually be good for her. We need to see some scenes of you in the studio, girl. She also says that she's working on her swimwear line. She's going to have a little mixer where she reintroduces the line or whatever. And I'm like, this is what we want to hear. Like, no offense to this girl, I don't really know much about her, but I hate the way she was brought into this show chasing after friendships as if that was going to be her main storyline when she really has a storyline. But y'all, let's go ahead and move on. So we actually see Ari. She is with her sister, Bird, and she has another sister coming. I thought it was going to be Kiana because that's the other sister that we keep seeing on this show. But no, she has another sister by the name of Ashley. The whole family is really pretty, straight up. Not sure if they have the same mom and dad, not really sure. But Ari is actually stressed out about meeting up with her dad. You know, speaking of parents, she's stressed out because her mom's house got broken into. Work is stressful, but the main stressor is that she doesn't know what's going to happen when she meets up with her dad. So they're actually going to go through a sound bath. And after they go through it, they just talk about how they were feeling. It did seem to help Ari. And she tells her sisters that, she's going to go meet up with her dad. But the thing is, she's actually going to be going alone because her sister Kiana, she first of all has a better relationship with the dad than Ari has. And secondly, she's not going just because she said she can't make it. It sounds like a setup to me, but I'm rocking with the storyline. Now, Ari doesn't know what the outcome is going to be because at the end of the day, she only knows how she felt in the situation. She doesn't know what her dad was going through at the time, but she's facing her fears. She's going to meet up with this man, and whatever happens, happens. Now, let's go ahead and move on to Carly. So she goes to the studio. I'm like, all right, we have a start here. So she goes to the studio or whatever. She meets up with her friend / producer by the name of Pooh Beats. And she plays him this song called Butterfly. I can't lie. The vocals on it was definitely giving the female version of Young Thug. Okay? Now, I'm not going to say that it sounded bad, but it was cute for what it was, okay? I just probably would want to read through the lyrics. Nonetheless, her producer, he's supportive of it, and he feels like she should really try to stay in this lane, so that way she can still, remain relevant to her fans. Because he did bring up a good point. There's no point in talking about Birkins and expensive watches and all of that stuff when your fan base can't relate. So you need to keep some things personal, on the tracks. And I agree with that. Because we've seen so many times artists will blow up and they aren't the people who they used to be. So they're rapping about other stuff and we just like, okay, we don't have that lifestyle. What else is going on? But nonetheless, I will say that I like that she's really trying to separate herself from the YSL situation. Because at the end of the day, she really out here on her own. So hopefully we do see Carly reach some type of success. But let's go ahead and move on. Alright, so we see that not only did Tucson's mom and dad show up, baby, he looked like he had a car full of the whole family, okay? They had a busload of people ready to go see Tucson perform. We saw Ari actually call him because she couldn't make it to the performance, but she does say congratulations. She wished that she could be there to support him in person. But I will say, I do love the friendships, I should say, that they have on this show. Tucson and Ari seem to be very supportive of each other. Of course, whenever Tay has something going on, everybody's supporting him. I love the support that they have within their friendships. Now, Tucson, I gotta be real with you, friend. I gotta give you a side eye. Just a little bit. Because you got a little upset because they did not have Hennessy and Casamigos, and that was supposed to be a part of your rider. Tucson, can you be for real right now? Why do you have a rider? Why? You don't even have a song. No offense, but whoever booked you, they're booking you on a whim that, number one, the performance will probably be televised because you have a TV show, but you don't have no songs that you have dropped. So, the fact that you have a rider, sir, I'm giving you a side eye. But nonetheless, he goes on the stage and he completely kills it. The crowd was rocking with him. Was this a large crowd? No, but at the end of the day, he got to start somewhere. The crowd seemed to be rocking with him. He had good energy. He was actually rapping his own lyrics. Because y'all know a lot of people, they just be letting the track play. Yeah, I liked it. Tucson, good for you. The only downfall was that, his dad wasn't there. For some reason, I thought that he was. But no, his dad was not there. So hopefully, his dad will make it to another performance. But let's go ahead and move on. We actually see Ari with one of her friends. I can't remember what her name is. And her bodyguard. Now, her bodyguard is low-key kind of cute, though. Just throwing that out there. But nonetheless, Ari basically lets her friend just say whatever she got to say. Because her friend seems to be very talkative, very funny, a very lively person. So they were just talking about how, Ari said that she was going to do a lot of things when they were younger, and she actually did accomplish them. Again, these people have these great support systems. Love to see it on TV. Nonetheless, Ari ends up asking them if their dads are in their life, and her friend says no, but her bodyguard says yeah. So we actually see Ari get a FaceTime call from her son. And then her mom ends up, jumping on the phone call, and she tells her, I know that you about to meet up with your dad or whatever. And she gives her some great advice. Like, you're not going to be able to change this man or whatever, but don't let whatever happens at this meeting take you off your square. And I love the fact that her mom let her know that she's loved no matter what, no matter this whole situation and outcome. Her mom is always gonna ride for her. So now her friend is on her soapbox talking about how terrible it is that these men just be leaving these kids and they don't have nobody to look up to. Now, I was rocking with the speech, but you can't tell me that baby girl ain't a little tipsy, okay? But nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and move on because we see Tucson. He's at a photo shoot. And basically, it's the photo shoot for, the cover art and everything for his EP that he's working on. He has full creative control. And that's actually pretty dope considering, he's his own artist. Now, we do see that he gets a FaceTime call from his dad. And his dad hasn't even seen any footage from the performance. The only thing the mom does send him is the video of the auntie and the sister dancing or whatever, the Tucson music. And according to the family, he couldn't come to the performance because he had to work. So we learned that Tucson has actually sent his dad some songs for him to listen to. Now, the daddy doesn't listen to the tracks, okay? Here's the problem. He does not agree with all of the lyrics. It may be because there's profanity in it. I'm not exactly sure what, Tucson is really rapping about. But Daddy feel like, listen, you need to make a song that everybody can listen to. How about a gospel track? Sir, Tucson's not about to do no gospel track. Relax. But, I will say that his dad does seem like he's trying to put in some effort to continue to support his son, even though he doesn't agree with all the lyrics. Now, as for Tucson, he says that he needs to stay true to himself, and a gospel track is just not where he is in his life. But let's go ahead and move on because Ari is actually meeting up with her dad. Now, first thing that she noticed about her dad is that he got all these piercings and all this stuff going on. And that let me know that her dad is still on a selfish personal journey. So Ari is already starting off crying, okay? Because she tells her dad how, they've never had a sit down where they can just have a conversation. They never had dinner together. It's a lot of list of nevers, okay? And the thing about it is that she only knows her own side of the story and how she feels, but the whole reason why she's here is to learn what he was going through that stopped him from being a parent. Well, first things first, this man tells her that he was a ladies' man. He was quite popular, aka wherever there was a hole, he was sticking his thing, okay? It sounds to me like this man, he was absolutely a ladies' man. I don't even know what the relationship was with Ari's mom, but it doesn't sound like it was a real relationship. You know what I'm saying? Where he solely focused on her. He was probably cheating on your mama back in the day. He wanted to be anywhere and everywhere but being stable. That's the vibe that I'm getting. Now, what makes this worse, you guys, is that he says that his main goal was to make sure that he paid child support, number one. And here's one thing that I will say about child support, you guys. Number one, I'm not a fan of child support because, unfortunately, a lot of men, like her dad, feel like if I pay child support, I don't have to deal with that child. Number one. Number two, we are only now in the place where we can see what child support has actually done to a lot of households, as well as what has happened to those children who have received child support in an era that basically taught these men, I don't know where they got the idea from, that as long as you pay child support, you don't got to be involved. Like, all those kids are now grown, and we are able to let these fathers know, hey, you weren't here. I don't care about you paying child support. Okay? Because I want to say, I don't know what decade or what year child support came out. I want to say it had to have been, the 80s to 90s? That's when it kind of came out. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. But a lot of those men back in the day, they felt like, well, I got this baby mama over here getting me for child support. Got that baby mama over there. So for them to even sustain a decent lifestyle, they were overworked because they had multiple baby mamas in their pockets. But here's the thing, sir. You decided to have multiple children by different women because you just could not seem to grasp the concept of actually settling down with a family. For some reason, men back in the day just continued to chase and chase and chase. But here's the thing. Y'all chased after different women. You had babies all over the damn place. And then you just left those kids. And they have the audacity to feel like, well, I paid your mama child support. As if that takes the place of love. That takes the place of, like, protection. That takes the place of being a safety net for your child. Like, I'm sorry, but the psychology of that, it blows my mind. That right there should be a case study. These men who thought that child support was enough. But here's the thing also when it comes to Ari, because she tells her dad about how, he missed a lot of pivotal moments in her life. Graduations, going to dances, all these things. And his whole only answer is the fact that, he had to work overtime. He had to work 10 and 12-hour days, like I said, so that way these men can stay afloat because they have child support coming out for 3, 4, 5 different women. Now, I think he said he had, 3 kids that he was paying child support on? But, sir, that was on you to have those 3 kids. But honestly, in this moment, especially once he said that he was chasing after his own happiness, it's like, yeah, the problem is that you was chasing after your own happiness, which in your mind was, you thought you were going to find it in another woman, when you really should have just tried to settle down and help raise your kids. That's what you should have tried to do. And also, another thing that irritated me about her dad saying all of this foolishness is the fact that I kind of wish that her dad would have been honest in that moment. And you know what that honesty would have sounded like? And I feel like a lot of, especially black men who tend to have this same type of storyline in their life, they refuse to say, but they really should. Just go ahead and tell these kids that y'all didn't want them, because you already acted it out. You already played in their face since they were born. You already, played all these little games and made these kids feel unwanted since they were born. Just be honest and say, you know what? I was a womanizer. The only thing I wanted to do was sleep with different women, and I did not want no kids to come out of that, but they did. I'm sorry that y'all were born, because I did not want to be a parent to you. Be honest. And I wish more black men would be honest about it. Just tell your kids you didn't want them, because that's the true honesty. Like, yeah, the kids came along, and for some of them, they may have tolerated their kids, but a lot of them did not want those kids. Then what made it worse for me, y'all, watching this, is when this man told her, I'll be scrolling through Instagram and I'll see your picture come up. I see you doing good. Are you serious, sir? Like, you don't have a relationship with your child, but you can scroll on Instagram and say, oh yeah, that is my daughter. She aight. Are you kidding me? Again, just say you did not want this child. Just say that. Like, in this moment, I feel so bad for Ari because she's trying to get her point across to her dad, and it's clear that there is no connection. Like, she even brings it to the fact that, as a mom, she can never imagine missing out on a lot of things that your son has going on. And this man cannot connect. He was about to give her another excuse as to why he was MIA. And she basically told him, no, I don't need any more excuses. Actually, I want to leave. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate the fact that she decided to get up and leave that situation, because all he was going to do was keep beating around the bush. As far as her saying that, she can never imagine, not missing, her missing things that your son has going on, I feel like a lot of times moms have just a total different connection to their children versus the way men are able to just get up and leave, unfortunately. So I don't think she's ever going to get through to her dad. I really don't, because he lacks connection. And also on top of that, he goes on to basically tell her that he wishes her to have, a lot of success, because if she's making money, everybody's making money. So that's why he hopes that she continues to make a lot of money. Y'all come get this man. Come get this man off of my screen, because he a trip. Now, Ari is out here breaking down crying because she wants her dad to understand that she does not care about all the materialistic things. She doesn't care about the money. She just wants him to be there for her, be her dad. And unfortunately, he's not going to do that, because he doesn't know how to do that. And even if he tried back in the day, that just wasn't for him, because like I said, I don't think that he wanted children. So there's clearly a disconnect here. And unfortunately, I don't think that you're going to get the dad that you deserve, Ari. I'm so sorry about that. But I feel like you, as well as a lot of other little black girls and black boys who have had to go through similar situations, you're not going to get that love that you want and need from the people who are your parents. Now, you do have a mom who is ride or die for you. She is strong. She supports you in everything that you do. Take that and hold on to it, because unfortunately, you don't have another parent who's going to support you in that way. But as long as you have your mama, I think you're going to be doing all right, Ari. Now, the only thing that I am going to point out real quick is that outfit that you had on. I can't lie, I was giving a side eye to it. I got to be honest, Ari. I know that you grown, you can wear whatever you want to, but you was meeting with your daddy. Like, why was your, booty almost out? That was doing a lot. But I digress. That's not the focus here. So we end this episode with a to be continued. You guys, I will be back next week with another review of The Impact Atlanta. I will say that this episode I really did enjoy, because it wasn't so catty with the foolishness. Let me know what y'all thought about it. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.